Waiting. What is going on, everybody? Are you guys ready to rock? We are here for you tonight. So we got the amazing, he's one of my personal friends as well, guys, but we got the lead singer of a band called And So This Ends. Amazing Ben Taft. What's going on, buddy?
How you doing? Pretty good.
Giving you a big intro there. Awesome, man. I'm so excited to have you on. And as cool as it always is, James, what's going on, buddy?
Pretty good. Thanks for coming in and joining us in the Tasty Licks episode. I think it's episode 2.
Episode 2 of Tasty Licks. And
Tasty Licks.
Yeah, that's right.
What's up, Rob?
And we got so we're of course so happy to have a very, very talented artist with us today. And if you guys didn't already know Ben was a musician, now you'll know, because we're going to play one of his EPs coming up here in a bit in the hour, and we're going to get to the bottom of his band and as well as himself as a musician. So how's it going, man? How's it going? You're good?
Yeah, good. It's funny because I guess this entire time I've been doing the beard stuff and being in the beard community, it didn't occur to me that people didn't know this about me. But then again, when I started in it, the band hadn't gotten back together yet. I mean, this just happened within the past year. So it was like, oh, all right. So I guess I'll let the cat out of the bag sooner or later.
Which is totally cool. I mean, when I first saw that you were doing this, and we've talked because we're both metalheads, and so I was like, wow, he's really cool. And you said, well, I've done this in the past. You hadn't really gone there yet. And you knew a lot about metal, of course, a lot about music. And you were saying I was the lead screamer, and you were telling me more about how you were doing it and how, you were very good at it, because I was like impressed as hell, because I was like, because there's a lot of people who scream and then they lose their voice. And he's like, I don't do that. I'm professional at this. So I was like, oh, dude, that's awesome.
You have that conversation with people that don't realize, all right, the vocal box, vocal cords are a musical instrument. And despite my boss, for instance, he's just like, oh, that's screaming. I was like, go ahead, enjoy. Do a 3.5 minute song, pause just for a little bit, do another one. I said, it's without losing your voice. I said, you know how many times I almost blacked out back in my early 20s trying to, tune your voice to be able to do stuff like that. There's an art to it. Is it for everybody? Right. No, it's not for everybody, but there's an art to it. Without losing your voice it's hard.
There's actually there's scream like metal, like I forgot the girl's name, but she's like actually one of the first like professional like scream coaches, where she can actually teach you how to scream properly without messing up your vocal cords.
It's a diaphragm thing. A lot of people just do the vocal cord thing, and that's vocal fry, and you will damage your vocal cords. But if you push from your diaphragm, you can change you control the air with your throat, so it comes out in different pitches and stuff. So it's a skill. I don't know. It's a skill that everybody wants to learn, but
hey, most people think it just comes out of your mouth. Instead, you just say, like you said, use your diaphragm to push it out instead of just using your throat. You kind of just use your diaphragm.
Absolutely. Which is why I knew he was talented, because my mom's a vocal coach. She's a vocal teacher.
Yeah.
So I was like, yep. You're absolutely right. So half of the problems, and actually, if you talk to a lot of rock musicians over time, after especially touring for a while, they have to get injections into their neck. The parts that they don't tell you about as a musician and touring is that they'll have to actually get vocal injections into their neck, because it will actually somewhat freeze up on them, and they have to keep it from freezing up and going numb.
Clean singing actually hurts my vocal cords more than screaming does, which is odd. You wouldn't think that to be, but to hold a pitch or a tone, which I'm not the greatest singer. That's why there's grit in there. That's why the raspy comes through. But if I try and sing for say in the car to somebody else's song, it hurts my voice. to where screaming just doesn't bother me after so many years. So it's
so
very
awesome,
odd.
man. So let's get to the bottom of what even got you in. I mean, just like, how do you get into this to where you're like, hey, this is what I'm going to do?
So
tell me a little bit about your story, your backstory.
Yeah. I was talking to my bassist is he's one of my two I say best friends. Of course, my wife is my best friend. She will let you know, but my two oldest friends, one is in Florida. He's in Ocala. That's just my friend Jamie, and my friend Doug is a bass player. And we all three became best friends when I was 13. So it's been over 30 years. Doug has played bass for as long as I've known him, just, to one degree or another, just in his room. And then somewhere in high school, did the cover band thing. And I replaced Jamie briefly before the band broke up as lead singer in there, doing Metallica, AC/DC, stuff like that. Well, that was the first little taste. Doug went over to Germany. What is it? A pastry chef. I think he went to Germany to become a pastry chef and got got that degree or whatever. And when he came back, it was 1998, and we sat right out in this back yard and talked about, hey, why don't we try and start a band? We need to find a drummer, and I'll do vocals and he'll do bass. We'll find a guitar player, and that's actually where we met our current drummer, Matt. We put out a penny saver ad and put it in. He answered, so we went up there. And we're into Korn, we're into Deftones, we're all in the same music at that point in time. So it he was in a band already, but they were doing cover stuff, like bar band type stuff. And he wanted to do the heavier stuff. And we're like, yeah, we're game, man. So I don't know. There was different iterations of it. Matt didn't stay the drummer. We played around 2 or 3 different drummers. We kind of bounced around. We used to play up in the loft in my barn when I lived in the country. We rented a place in another adjacent town briefly. We changed drummers again, and then different guitarists kind of came and went. And So This Ends started, I think last night we nailed down 2002 is when the name stuck, and we were playing in the basement of Doug's house. And we had yet another guitar player, but Matt came back into the fold. Matt became our drummer again. And then we wrote, I think we did 3 songs. We did a demo, 3 songs. And we played a couple shows. And it was Rochester music is the new metal scene. We had aspirations of going up there and playing and being one of those bands, but being from a small town, it was difficult. So, in honing your craft, so you didn't, you don't want to embarrass yourself. Those guys, they eat, live, and breathe music up there. It's crazy, and you want to go up and not embarrass yourself. You want to do a good job. So we got to play a couple shows with that, Scott, and then that I went up, and I was briefly in a Rochester band with a friend, Mike of mine, Mike. That was called November Gray. I really enjoyed the music we made. It was unsustainable with me being down here and them being up there. It's an hour drive, and it just wasn't happening. Came back down to Dansville. We met Sean, which is our current guitar player, and Matt and Doug. And then we were up in Sean's house in his basement and continued. We didn't want to change the name of And So This Ends, so we kept it. And there's my cat. I told you in the pre-screen she was trying to get on my lap. That was, we wrote some really good songs. Spin, which is on our Facebook page, that was recorded around that time. We had written a whole bunch of songs, which we have since forgotten, it's kind of funny. One of the songs we just recorded, I don't think sounds anything like it used to. Of course, none of us can remember how it used to sound, so we just rewrote it. But that was 12 years ago. I don't think we parted on good terms and everything. It was just, I think Doug was tired. I was tired of the whole band thing. At that point in time, I think Doug and I had been in bands, 10 plus years. And it was just, it's not that it wasn't going anywhere, but you get older, life gets in the way, work, kids, everything else. And it was time for a pause. And that happened. And then just right out of the blue, Doug had kind of bounced around different jobs. He lived out of state for a little bit, and finally he came back to Dansville And he was just like, dude, what do you think about getting the band back together? I'm like, can we do it for fun? Because when you're younger, you're chasing the getting signed thing. We're gonna play Rochester. We're gonna become Lincoln Park. We're gonna, there's pressure and it causes issues in the band. That you already have personalities conflicting, creative process and this and that. But it just adds a pressure to. It was just like, this time, let's do it for fun. If we never play a show out, I'm fine. If we never record, which we ended up recording because we were like, dude, this sounds good. Let's
right.
But the pressure still isn't there. It's for fun. Every Wednesday we practice, and it's just the guys hanging out and doing what we love. And it's been a passion of mine for so long. As you get older, you take all the pressure out of it and make it fun. And then it is fun. It's like, yeah, dude, go record, hang out. And now I don't know. I like
have a nice little.
Yeah, we've been
putting jam session without anything tied to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like
that's and I think that again with the Rochester scene, like you're expected to do like a half an hour set, which we have. I think that if we practice and get it down tight enough that our songs are good, we would need to make sure we're good for that bit. I think we'd be good, but obviously we can't right now.
Right.
When things open up. Possibly, I have some connections up in the city. We can kind of, branch out and do that, but it's just, I don't want to push it. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, I'm all right with that. Ooh, did he bring you snacks?
He did.
Oh. So what brought you to do vocals? Like, do you know how to do instruments as well, like play guitar and all that stuff?
No.
What made you decide to just I want to do vocals, or that you could do vocals?
It is it's hilarious me sitting in band practice because I'm curious. I'm like, oh, what tune are we in? Drop D. That's great. I have no idea what that means. It's at one point in time though, and so this ends when we're in Doug's basement. I think we're drop A, which is just, corn, just glug, 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 just sloppy. It was disgustingly delicious. I loved it. Drop D is, is good too. It's nice and chunky the way I like it. But I don't know what. A long time ago in high school, my friend had a bass too, and we're down in his basement, and he had just a crap mic, and he was just like, oh, he was playing something, and I was screaming into it just for fun. He was just like, dude, you're pretty loud. I'm like, thanks. And then I don't know. I don't know if I ever fancied myself a lead singer because I'm not the most outgoing person. I'm not afraid of being in public. I'm not afraid of standing in front of people, but it's not, if I have a choice, I'm not going to do it.
No doubt.
Yeah. It's with the whole beard thing, it was just like, oh, Ben's in a band. I'm like, all right, let's calm down with that stuff. You're embarrassing me. Stop.
This is what's so funny. And this is why I like highlighting. I mean, you're freaking talented. And we'll see this in about 10, 15 minutes. We're going to play one of his songs. And you will see this. And I know that you're humble. You are humble beyond belief. You are the most humble lead I've ever met. Because you're definitely, but the cool thing about it is that you really are talented, which I appreciate. I think maybe in time over the years, we're older, we're in our 40s. So maybe that humility, that humbleness, I think to me it is endearing. It's something that goes, hey, I know what I got. I don't have to tell you about it. You're just going to hear it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it was kind of weird when everybody's just like, oh, I don't hear it from you. I shared, a song or two with some buddies, and they're like, oh, I can't see you. I was like, all right, fine. I'll record myself at practice. So this is proof I actually do this stuff.
Which when I first heard it, when I first saw that, I was like, what? I was blown away. I was like, I had no idea. I'm pretty sure nobody else knew as well. I mean, a lot of people probably didn't know as well, but
we were.
I was blown.
I shared it. And, just like a couple buddies, and I was like, all right, here's this. And I was like, I was kind of agonized over it. Like, I don't get, anxiety per se, but I do get this kind of like, ooh, what are you doing, dude? So I was like, all right. And my wife was asking me, she's like, what are you thinking of doing? I'm like, I'm going to post this on my IG. She's just like, okay. I'm like, huh? Lots of people are going to see it. Look at that.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid. It's just, I don't know. I'm not afraid of rejection or somebody say, hey, that's, screaming, what's the big deal or anything. It's just, it's a confidence thing that, I'm always keeping myself in check. Like, hey, don't ever get full of yourself because I'll knock myself down before anybody else can, type of thing, I guess.
Right.
Well, I will tell you this, that is part of, a close crew of yours. We will help hype you up because that's what we're all about. We'll tell everybody about you, which we are. I mean, I got you on my show because I'm just like, he is that freaking talented. With the amount of rock folks we're going to have on this show, you are just as freaking talented, dude. I mean, I am blown away. And the fact that you had that musical understanding, being able to use your diaphragm, I can't tell you how many times my mom sat kids in a living room saying, breathe through your diaphragm, sing through your, not through your nose, not through your throat, through your diaphragm, it's not something that everybody gets. And it's really hard to teach somebody how to breathe from that place, because that's the only way to keep your vocals fresh and working throughout. Because you'll notice that if you go to a karaoke bar, there's people that can sing really well and they're using their throat. And then there's the person that gets in there and you're like, the karaoke queen comes in and it's all coming from the diaphragm, because they know how to use their vocals cords and their diaphragm to be able to project. And it's projection that makes the big deal, which is what you found apparently early without even knowing about it. Yeah,
that's it, which is weird. There was a long time ago, and during the hiatus there, my drummer, another good friend, was playing bass. My current guitarist, they had a band, and they had a girl singer, and their name was Mandy, and she was a phenomenal singer, but she sang from the throat. So she was like, I think I have to get a new PA, because it's not, it was a PA I had been using. Well, I hadn't touched the settings, and we did, I think it's Hey Man, Nice Shot or something. I just got up there, screamed that, and I was just like, nope, it's you. You gotta, like she can sing 1,000 times better than I can sing, but she doesn't project, well enough. And I was trying to convey to her, like, hey, just don't be afraid. Just let her fly, man.
Right. Absolutely. And it's also for longevity. It's actually good for you. Like you're saying, you won't have the vocal cramps and you'll not be able to scar. You're actually, when you sing from your throat, you will scar your vocal cords.
As you're vibrating your cord, you're vibrating so much, you're like rupturing them, I guess you can kind of say.
Right. You can rupture. Exactly. It scars it. And then you lose the ability to sing because you've done that. And there's a couple really good singers that's what happened to them. And they're gone. They're no longer, there's a couple country singers I can think of for sure that they sung through their throat and then they're gone. Their entire career ended after just a few years because they didn't sing properly. They weren't using the proper way of singing. So you got into this band. Now you told me a story about, what really got you. You were talking about, I just kind of like, hey, you want us to join a band? Just like, you're just sitting there across, hey, you want to join a band? And you're like, yeah, I'll join a band. Is it like your friend from Germany or something like that?
Yeah, right? Doug, my best friend there. And it just, and I was like, yeah, why not? Let's do this. Like, it's so, it is, now you reflect back and it's like, really, you just read out on the in the backyard, like, hey, you want to do a band thing? I'm like, yeah, let's do that.
Let's do a band thing.
I can specifically remember, it was funny. We're sitting up in Matt's living room at his mom's house. We practice in the basement briefly there. And we were watching Korn live or something like that. And Matt's just like, do it. I'm like, do what? It's the Are You Ready? And, so I screamed that, and there was a whole bunch of people in the room, and I was just like, why you got to do that to me, man? So as long as I can remember, I've been the reluctant lead guy, the hey, don't pay attention to me, but pay attention to me. I don't know why.
It's awesome. It's awesome, man. It's awesome. And you know what? I think that as you get in front of more people, which will happen,
Yeah.
I'm guaranteeing that will happen because I know you're talented. You'll get more comfortable over time. It'll just happen. You won't even think about the crowds anymore. You'll just be in front of the crowds and you'll be
Yeah.
vibing off their energy. Now,
Yep.
you've done a couple gigs
yeah.
throughout your time. And Kit, what kind of gigs were those? And, how much fun was that? What was your, like, do you feel like you're feeding off the crowd when you're in front of them? How does that feel for you?
It really depends. Now, I hate to say this story. This is I got yelled at by my drummer one time because we got booked on a hardcore show. Now you've heard the music I have. It's not hardcore. We're heavy, but we're not hardcore. And I have zero issue with hardcore music. It's not particularly my thing. But it's different. It's not heavy enough for, so we go up and we're one of the opening bands and we rock out in the first song, second song, and then the crowd started backing up from us. And I was just like, all right. I was starting to get a little frustrated, like, hey, I'm screaming my ass off here, like you guys aren't into this. And then they just no reaction at the end of one of the songs. And the next song was Spin, which is by far our most radio friendly song that we have. And I said to the crowd, well, if you hated that one, you're really going to hate this one. Well, it's not what Matt, the drummer, heard. So he played the rest of the show very angry at me for insulting our band. And I was like in front of the crowd and I was just like, he was, not cornered me, but he's like, hey, what was that all about? And I was like, oh, I was picking on them for not being into us. It was my attempt at humor. And it just didn't play well. It didn't play well with Matt. It didn't play well with the crowd. I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. So
learn.
There is a very, well, it's not open anymore. There was a very well-known band place up in Rochester, New York called the Penny Arcade. For the longest time, bands would come in, not huge bands, but bigger bands would come in and play, and then local bands would play, and we got to play there at least twice. So that was really a good deal for us. There was a couple clubs. I think it was Steel Music Hall. We got to play one time up there, and then some local stuff. I don't think we ever did a battle of bands. We did some bars and some hit or miss venues. We didn't play a ton, but we played enough to get that feel of being in front of people. And
right.
I did play in front of a college crowd one time, but that was not with this band. I was doing just scream parts for a band called Transparent, and they got booked on Alfred State College here, and it was in basement, and there was 20, 30 people there or something like that. And I remember the lead singer was pacing back and forth. He's all nervous. He's like, how can you be so calm? I'm like, I've been doing this like 10 years, dude. It's okay. Right. Like, calm down. You'll be fine. We played the show and everything was hunky dory, but I was a screamer for hire at one point in time for a very brief portion of my career, if you want to call it, as a screamer.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, that's cool. So tell us another story. What's one of your other favorite stories? Maybe a favorite venue that you go to that you were just like, this is exciting to be at.
I don't know. That's I'm not quite sure what to go with. It's been a whole lot of, the past, I don't know, we'll say 20 years, with the absence of the 12 years, or maybe it's 25 years that I've been doing in band stuff. I think my favorite part is the practicing, only because I get to hang out with my friends. It's right. Creating music is the best part, and it's probably the definition of a garage band that you're forever practicing, and then every now and again you get to go out and play. But the friendships are made, and lost sometimes in the band room. Right. But it's just. I enjoy it. It's a way to bond with people and a way to do what you love and get creative, even though I'm not much help writing songs. Hey, how's that sound? Yeah, pretty good.
In the background, like, hey, good job.
How's that sound? Pretty good.
Like all you have to do is just provide vocals for. You're really just sitting back and kind of just getting musically like entertained, and then just all you gotta do is just fill in vocal tracks.
Yep. Well, and I can tell you the worst part about being a vocalist, at least for me, is writing lyrics. Now, I say that I have a lot to say. I have opinions on stuff. I have, passions, things I want to say. Arguing with vocal patterns and what I want to say and making them go together doesn't always work.
Yeah,
it's like
true.
I have a thought of how this is supposed to go, but I can't make those words, fit into there. Like I'll write a bunch of stuff like, yeah, this is what I want to say. It's like, this is garbage. We're throwing that all out.
That's the way it is. Yep. Yeah, that's the way it is, man.
And I guess that was one of the things I did want to. When I have inspirations for songs, I write them, for my own personal purpose. And that's, people, what's a song about? What's it mean to you? Nobody is going to completely agree with you on something, but if you listen to a song and it means something to you, go with that. It doesn't matter why I wrote it. That's,
right. That's the reason why I do this. This is why I do this. And this is why music is an expression from the musician as well as the receiver. So the creator and the receiver. So why do I love music? I play music. I've been a guitarist for a very long time now, since I was like 14. So it's my go-to for emotional. I have spurts where I go just like you, where I go in and out of playing. I'm now kind of doing more regular practicing again because I've kind of been jammed. Now I've been talking about this music stuff more. It's got me going again. But it's an expression for me emotionally. But then additionally, you flip it on the hand. If we think about some of our best moments, you think about your wedding, you think about things that are very important, there always is music aligned with it somewhere. You think about, this is our song, this is our first date song, this is the song that I got married to, this was our first dance. You think about all the important engagements in your life. Usually music was involved in it. And that's why they put them in your car. Now you have headphones to go along with it. Where you're working out, there's music is everywhere in your life. And being able to be soothed by it, be able to be amped by it.
The stress relief.
Absolutely. And it's so important. And that's the reason why being able to be just like yourself, I want people to hear the creative stuff that goes into it. So that they can enjoy it just as much as I have been doing making it. I don't, I sit in my house and just make music, but I enjoy the fact that it's emotionally satisfying. But being able to create it, it's amazing, especially when you have talent. When you have talent, it's amazing. So right now, I want everybody to hear the first, I think it's the first time on YouTube, right?
This song, yes.
This
you
song,
can find me on YouTube if you know where to search.
So we're going to listen to one of his EPs that he made. What was this, 12 years ago or so, right?
My wife's embarrassed for me over here, right there. She's
she loved you.
She wants to do the la, 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 la thing.
So we're gonna play. This is his EP. We want to play it. I want everybody to crank their sound, whatever they're listening to right now, as loud as it can get, so you can hear what we're talking about. Awesome music. That's freaking phenomenal, man.
I can listen to that all day, every day. Just a repeat.
When I was recording, I mean, I just recorded that probably 2 or 3 weeks ago there. And I was just like, because we recorded it 12 years ago, I've lost some of my range, just not doing it every day or doing it weekly and all that stuff. And I didn't know how low I could get again. I was like, oh no, that's plenty low. That'd be just fine.
Holy moly, dude. That just blows
oh my God. That's just, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is, yeah. Hey, Gary, what's going on, buddy? Freaking amazing. Freaking amazing, dude. I don't even have words to describe how talented that is. It just is amazingly good.
On our EP, I'm calling it EP because I don't know what else to call it. It'll be 5 songs. 2 of the songs, that's one of them. We recorded already 12 years ago, which would be Spin, and then that song, and then Comply and It's Over are 2 brand new songs that we just got done writing within the past year. And then we did a cover of Faith No More's Gentle Art of Making Enemies.
Nice.
We initially were going to do Marilyn Manson, but then Marilyn got in a whole bunch of trouble as of recently with some just bad mojo, and they were like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So we went with my favorite band, which is Faith No More, and I was like, hey, what about this song? Because we practiced that song, and they're like, yeah, let's do that one.
That's a good choice.
Right on.
Yep.
Very cool. Very cool. And you got a ton of people you just like totally honest. Totally cool. Yeah. Hey, what's going on? What's going on?
She chimed in. She's like, what is this music you're playing? Stop it.
No, she's all for it.
Yeah, she's all for it. Yeah, absolutely. She's definitely. That's what I was like. Do you have another one?
Yeah.
But I knew that will, and we'll definitely have to have you come on again because as you release your new EP, that's what we're all about, is helping promote new bands coming up with new premiere stuff and EPs. And so as you get further along with your EP release, we'll definitely have you on again to help promote that. And so, yeah, very cool. I just blown away, dude. So we're now going to switch a little gears and we're going to talk a little bit about food that you like.
Oh.
And we're going to talk a little bit of desserts, food. So when you're on the road, what is it that you're eating? What is the snack of choice when you're on the road for gas station food or whatever it is that you're out and about doing to help kind of get you ready for a
gas station, fast food, whatever, whatever soothes your.
I have the weirdest. I don't even know if it's a habit or if you want to call it that. I race, so I race my go-karts. If you've seen some of that stuff,
right?
Every time I leave, and I was very upset this past Saturday. Every time I leave the racetrack, I have it's a craving for buffalo blue cheese combos and chocolate milk. I have no idea why. It's every time after a race. It's so odd. It is so odd, but I want it. Like every time I leave a track, I'm like, ooh, combos, yeah.
Do you know what? I do like combos.
Yep.
The chocolate milk's the one that
Yep.
Yeah.
that's milk after like, combos, especially buffalo and blue cheese. Like, are you pregnant, sir?
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't have buffalo blue cheese, so I had to get pizza ones, and I was just it's just not the same. I mean, they were good. Don't get me wrong, but I'll eat them.
Okay. I used to eat so how I found combos was after wrestling matches. I would go. There would be like I'd be on base, and there would be like a shopette, and I'd be like, "Okay, we're at this school. The only thing that's open is a shopette, so let's go to the shopette, guys." So we go to the base shopette, and then we would pick like whatever was available. And combos just came out. This is like early '90s, and so I was like, "Yep, these are the ones." And I used to buy them, and then if it was like my celebration, if I won that match, that was my celebration.
Nice.
Combo time. Yeah. So now we know. After a good gig, after a good win like he is doing. So that's something that we haven't really discussed yet. But he also has another side passion other than beards, other than amazing freaking music. he has. Tell us about your carts. I mean, these things are freaking amazing, and you have 2 of them, right?
Yeah. Now it's a small engine and big engine. The little engine's called a KT100. It's a piston port 100cc. I'm a 2-stroke guy, so you can run 4 strokes and this and that. But I run local here, and I was doing, what was it? Was it 59.2 mile an hour or something in the little motor? So it's a little piston port 100cc. It's like 18, 20 horsepower. My big motor, I'm going to go race this Saturday because Unlimited All-Stars are going to be there. My big motor is a 270cc Reed motor on methanol, and it's somewhere 65, 70 horsepower. So I'll be doing 80 at the end of the straightaway. No seat belts, in a go-kart.
Oh, my God.
That's what I'm saying. This is like souped up man stuff. What he does. Yeah. Souped up man stuff. I was watching you won the last race, right? You were in the lead, right? Yep. He takes no prisoners in this. He's like, you think you see Ben Taft, and like he comes on reviewers table, usually a little mellow, humble. He's freaking kicking ass.
I'm a very passionate person, I guess.
So I was waiting for somebody to make the comment of saying a 4-stroke or 2-stroke. So you got Rob's comment with, what a coincidence, I'm a 2-stroke guy. Wife gets real mad though. I was waiting for somebody to pull it. I was waiting for somebody to say it. That'd be Rob.
That's awesome, guys. And we got a lot of good folks in the crowd today. We got Chris, we got Tanya. What's going on? We got Deliberately Bearded. Man, we got Rob. I love Rob. Good dude.
Yeah, the 2-stroke is better than a 1-pump chump.
Yeah, that's right.
We got Bushy Beard in. Nice. And so this is the time also, if you guys want to ask any questions of Ben, he's here to answer questions about his band. You can talk about his go-karts, his winning ways of go-kartness. I mean, I'll sit there and we'll be talking, and I'll see him, and he's like in his garage. That's where he's like, this is where his his man cave is like, what, a 2-story barn in the back of your yard.
Yep. Wow. I just go out there, and it's not, like it's dirty and manly, and I don't know. It's just, I work on cars for a living, so you think that I want to stay away from mechanical stuff and fixing this and that. But when it's something I like doing, it's not work. I mean, it technically is work. I'm standing on my feet and I'm working on stuff and this and that. But when you're into that, it's not work. It's I come in and I'm tired. It's like, oh, you've been on your feet all day, dude.
Right. Good times, man. It's good times. I love it. Yeah. Totally good, man. I absolutely love it. And so, and you're actually taking this out and about. So you're taking it to raceways and you're winning,
Oh, yeah. Well, I resigned this past year. I was the administrator for what's called the Unlimited All-Star. So there's a set rule package that you can't go beyond this in CCs, and you have to weigh a certain amount. The carts, they're fast carts, and it's basically the highest form of karting you get to before you go to bigger stuff that has motorcycle engines or big cars and this and that. It's as fast as you can get in a go-kart type of stuff. But I did that. I was administrator for like 7 years. I think I raced Unlimited All-Stars for better part 13, 15 years, and it just, the traveling wore on me because it would be 4 or 5 hour, drives to go to a track. And I ended up, the last race I raced Unlimited All-Stars was down at the bottom of Ohio. So it was a 9-hour drive down there, 9-hour drive back. And I'm tired. So my local tracks are within an hour of me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back to my roots. I started racing with my friends 20 years ago or close to it. And I'm going to get a smaller engine package. We're going to go race. We're just going to go Saturday night and have fun. It's an hour drive home. Oh, I get to sleep in my own bed. This is amazing because I can't tell you. I've driven, 4 or 5, in the morning home, or I've seen the sun coming back from a race, and it wears on you when you do it year after year after year. It's too much. I want to be closer to home. I want to be near friends and stuff. And not that I don't have friends in the Limited All-Stars. It's just, I have to travel so far to see them. It's like, all right, I got to chill out for at least a little bit, guys. Give me a couple years and maybe I can do it again.
Totally get it. Totally get it. That's the weirdest thing. And I think as I got older, I used to love, I worked for a hotel company up until recently. And so I love staying at hotels. And then after I hit my maybe mid 30s, I'm so tired of ever staying at a hotel. I didn't sleep well anymore. And I was just like, there's something to be said about coming home at the end of the night and sleeping in your own bed.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, getting in. Well, yeah, Norman, my little wiener dog there. He usually alerts everybody that I'm home when I come home 2, 3 in the morning. Well, I got home at 2, I think, last Saturday. He didn't even get up. He's getting lazy in his old age. I could have murdered everybody in here, buddy. Where are you at?
Yeah. We had a dog like that, and it was like, are you just as long as you don't cross my path?
Yeah. I'm quieter now. I would walk in and try not to make a whole heck of a lot of noise.
All right.
As we know, as older men and been married for a while, happy wife of not hearing us come in and sneaking into bed, and then she waking up the next morning going, I didn't know you got in. That is a beautiful moment. A beautiful moment of, hey, yeah, that's right. I got in and you have no idea because I didn't make any noise to wake your beauty sleep. So, man, what a heck of I'm just still blown away by that song, dude. To be honest with you, amped me up, man. That's just I'm so into metal that I spent all of my youth growing up in 80s metal land. And so when you start hearing really good metal and it's, coming from somebody you really know, that's even more ampy to me. I mean, it's get you going.
One of the things I love about my band, I mean, obviously I'm in the band, so I kind of have to say it, but it isn't when we're talking the trying to put that song into a genre. Yes, it's metal, but it's not your typical type. It sounds like us. Who do we sound like? We sound like us. Not to say we're so original, but it's like I enjoy what we put together because it is, it's like we're all influenced by different things. We have the Shawns. It's SEAN, Sean, and then SHAWN. And then when I want to, it's the Shawns. They're the guitar players. Scene, SEAN. He's more like a hippie jam band type thing, but he can play, heavy music. And then Sean is. I know he likes, Marilyn Manson, stuff like that. And he's real good at chug riffs and stuff. And it melts so well together. And, I really, really enjoy it because it is unique. We can do cover songs because we're, for fun, but when we write, it's us. It's the way we sound. And I just really get, I like it. I like it a lot.
It's total fire.
Even during the song, I was trying to kind of see who you sounded like, because you said new metal, so it's around that kind of era where new metal was kind of coming out. But yeah, I was trying to pick out what band it sounded like, and really I couldn't kind of pick something. You know what I'm saying? It sounds just like a lot of everything mixed into one, which is good.
Yep.
Which is awesome. Which means it unique niche for you guys to be able to be, because if everybody sounds like Megadeth, I mean, there for a long time, I remember when I was in the 90s, there was Anthrax, Iron Maiden, Megadeth, Metallica. Everybody started sounding, there was a whole lot of bands on the other side of people that sounded exactly like Metallica. I can think of Flotsam and Jetsam, for instance. Very much sounded like Metallica. And actually, the bassist, they were so sounded like Metallica that when the unfortunate fact that their bassist died, the bassist for Flotsam and Jetsam, which is out of Phoenix, by the way, they actually took him on. He's the current bassist for Metallica.
What the heck? Newstead. He lives in New York now. It's like he's like an hour and a half or 2 hours away from me or something, up by some lake. I'm like, dude, that's awesome.
If you want to hear his earlier stuff, it's Flotsam and Jetsam. My friend Jamie was real big into them way back when, and he was just like, dude, this Jason Newstead, he plays on that. I was like, wow, that's awesome. Totally cool.
Growing up, Jamie was he was a huge Kiss guy. And I like Kiss, but I wasn't like, oh, Kiss. I was more Aerosmith, which is weird. And I was kind of thinking this interview coming up, I was just like, what album inspired me the most? And it was Angel Dust by Faith No More. Now, I know that The Real Thing was their biggest hit, and I liked it. Don't get me wrong. That I was in that. I watched MTV at the time, but when Angel Dust came about, I was like, it Mike Patton kind of taught me that if you want to be a vocalist, you don't have to follow everybody else. You could just do what you want. Just you know, don't conform. What's interesting to you? And I'm like, I like this guy.
Well, and that's the one thing about Faith No More, that they are very unique. And that was the one thing that got them into where they were at, is they're unique. They had a really unique vibe. Their guitars were very unique and very, for the time, they were very just metal. Just totally great driving metal. But then they also had the vocals on the other side that sounded really rough, but yet loud. You know, it kills me every time they come out with a new album. I mean, they came out with a Soul Invictus within the past, it's been 4 years now or something like that. Well, anyway, every time they come out with an album, it's like, oh, this doesn't sound like Faith No More. Well, you're not paying attention, because the Real Thing sounded, nothing like the album before, Introduce Yourself, and then Angel Dust sounded nothing like that, and as it follows along, it's just like they just at that moment, what are we into? What do we want to play? All right, that's what we're recording. They don't, they didn't follow other people's ideas of how music should be, and I'm like, that's the way you do it. As we all know, as musicians, that's what you do. You transform into different things. You can go through a jazz phase. You go through a blues phase. You go through a metal phase. Maybe even a country, maybe some, soft rock is like turning you on right now. And so you make an album. That's why when people go, oh, Metallica sold out, I'm like, no, they just changed the way they became better musicians. Honestly, Kiss, if you think about Kiss and you look at their track record of Kiss, they were a horrible band. Horrible music at the first beginning of them. They weren't good. They knew how to play a show, and they were really good. They were putting out like 3 albums a year. They were just throwing stuff together, but their shows were immaculate. But as they got better, that's especially in the 80s, they started getting more musically talented, and their shows started being better. And that's when they could take the makeup off, and it started that one album where they actually took, when everybody was taking their makeup off finally. Then they put it back on, of course. But that was what, they're excellent musicians now. And they didn't start off like that. The one thing that they had was a show. Their shows were amazing. And that's, if you will watch the 70s, the Dodge Rock, was it something about Rockin, whatever, Detroit City.
Oh, Detroit Rock City.
Detroit Rock City. That whole, where the whole thing and the lead up to the concert. And
didn't they do a horror movie?
They did.
I remember watching that. It was like Kiss and the something about the haunted park, or something like that. I do remember it though. It's in there somewhere.
They took advantage of their popularity at the time.
Good for them, just hey, let's see how far we can push this before people are like, whoa, that's too far.
And there's going to be purist Kiss fans out there that are going to hate me saying that I didn't think they were very musically talented. They had musical talent, but they weren't the most talented. And as you can see that they progressed through the years, they got better. And I think that as their music changed, or as the scene changed, so did their music.
I actually just watched Detroit Rock City the other day.
Nice.
Ironically,
it's still cool. Star Child's still cool.
Star Child.
That was my. Did you guys watch that one show? He had like a reality show.
Phantom. Of course, Ron knows who that is or what that
is. I love, this is the fun thing about it is that there's a couple guys in our community that are our age, and they get all the same stuff that we do, all the same. They were listening to the same music when we were, and it's just fun to be able to reminisce. It
is so odd talking to my kids now. It's not odd, but trying to explain to them that my grandmother took me to, I'm looking at my microwave, it just popped in my head, a microwave teaching class, because microwaves were invented when I was a youth.
Yes.
And it was like they were the new thing, and it was just like, wow, I am dating myself, aren't I? Whoo!
And it had a dial.
How do you record the VCR?
Yep. Yep.
And it had a dial, and the VCRs
had
a
clock.
Yep. The clicker.
The remote, right?
Yep.
The remote on the VCR was connected to the VCR.
Yeah.
There was a cord. It was a cord to it.
Yep.
And otherwise, you were actually, what I said was, guess who was the remote when I was growing up? It was us kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Go put in another tape.
Yeah.
Actually, MTV actually played music back then. Just
before all the band stuff or anything. Maybe I was, played around a little bit, but it just occurred to me. My dad had bought an $800 stereo, and it sat right out there in the living room. And my neighbors from 3 houses down were complaining about me because I was playing Alice in Chains, Dirt. And the first thing, and he said, my neighbor said, I could hear the walls vibrating. He had it so loud.
Alice in Chains is another great band, man. That was a unique sound.
Yep.
Yes.
That was, I think being in high school was at the, one of the perfect times. I mean, Kurt had just died and everything, but alternative music, grunge music was just, everybody's wearing flannels, the whole 9 yards. And it always, the classes in school, you could see the everybody divvying up, like, are you cool enough to listen to this and that? But
right.
that is right about the time I found Faith No More and really got into, my own thing. And Alice in Chains, I was into grunge. My wife and I share, I mean, we loved, Pearl Jam was one of the first things we listened together. Corduroy was one of the songs that we kind of bonded over initially. But that whole music genre, just it such a good time for music. It was creative. It was new. It was different. It was, I like that. And at the time it was, different than what was in the mainstream. And that always, catches my eye. I always like the different sounds.
That's exactly what it was. Right. That's why when people think about why Nirvana was so crucial, it's because it was the new sound that changed the way that we looked at music. Just like the Beatles, right. Elvis,
yep.
You name some of the 70s bands, Black Sabbath, for instance, for metal.
Oh, yeah.
You take a look at that. Those are the times where things change. The music of the time changed completely for about 10, 15 years. Yep, and it has never really, like old 80s metal is never, the hair band metal is gone. I mean, there's some bands that may sound a little similar, and there's some alternative ones that kind of come back. But I think grunge got into it and then changed the whole scene completely to where, there's a few bands that hung on, that were like the Crew. They still created music, but I'll tell you that Nirvana changed the world.
Mm-hmm.
They really did.
That's Sean's one of my guitar players. He's in the chat there. Sean,
what's going on, buddy?
Sean Kelly himself.
Yeah.
Cool. Like, how am I supposed to say Sean? That's not how you spell Sean.
It's Scene. What? I know. I had a friend named Sean the same way. I have actually a couple of friends named Sean with the SEAN. And so do you know what? So of course, I listen to your vocals, but what am I tuned in to? I'm listening to guitar, and that guitar is totally rocking. I just amazing licks on that, and the fact that it was created and not just a top 20, or top 40 hit. To be able to create something that sounds that freaking good. Yeah, it takes talent. It's just talented. Guitar riffs and
I can say as a vocalist, I'll be honest, sometimes the writing process is a little slow for me. So last night they were trying to, they were playing something and it was just like, all right, well, there's no drums. I'm not, really needed at this point in time. And they were just, they were writing, they were doing the thing that they do. And it's very important. But as I get to be the diva, and they often call me the diva. Sometimes I'm late to band practice. Sometimes I just, I don't really want to do that, guys.
So he is the lead singer. You're okay.
Kind of, but
you got it. Yeah.
There are some liberties to being, you don't really need me to do anything right now, do you?
I'm gonna go drink some coffee in the back.
Yeah.
I'll be in the sound room.
I tell you what, there is an old couch in our band practice room, which is the garage of my bassist there, and it is old and it's broken down, but you sink into it, and I have the corner, and and I'm right there. It's just like, oh, you want me to do something? Come on, man.
Awesome, man. So this is the time where we start talking a little bit about desserts. And what is your favorite dessert of all times, Ben?
Ooh,
just to set the record.
I love just in general cookies, but if I'm getting fancy, creme brulee, dude. I love it. Yeah. It's so good. I hardly ever get to have it. It's just not something you come by that often. But I think the last time I had it at a local restaurant, not that they're overly fancy, but they offered it and I ate it, and I was just like, I forgot how much I love this stuff.
Yeah, creme brulee is so good.
Yep.
It is so good. I had a boss that every place that we ever went, and we went to like at least once a month, we were able to go out as a team, and every dessert, usually it's like just lunch, and you're like, we'll just eat lunch and then go back. She always had to make sure that creme brulee was ordered, and she got some before she left. Yeah, always.
Doug Little there. That's one of my best friends. That's a bassist.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
He is also the one that went to Germany for, we made for my wife and my wedding. He showed me how to make purple roses out of marzipan. So we were rolling up and making the rose petals out of it.
That's pretty cool.
Just popped in my head there. Yep.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. So as I make a lot of things out of marzipan. That's a part of a traditional spiritual thing is marzipan. Nice. Yeah. Very cool. So going on to that, so we all know that Andy has brought. I just can't even compete with the dude. Just can't even. I tried for the first couple of weeks. I made a cake. I think I made some strawberry shortcake. And I just was like, there's just no way. So now my desserts are just things like the candy bars or robbing my kids' candy of Easter baskets. I told my wife, I said, hey, I needed. Still got this is actually from the grocery store. I got myself a little Three Musketeers.
Ooh.
So, and it's the double one, so you can have a little bit more.
I like
maybe share it with somebody else.
I like tart stuff, the sour stuff. If I'm getting candy, it's really my preference. Which it's changed over the years. I used to love chocolate, and it was always Snickers or something like that. But now I really do like tart. Just that sour type of bite stuff. I super enjoy it.
Me too. I really do too. And the kids, there's a place like a healthy food place that has those big buckets of like Sour Patch Kids and stuff that are like they're made by somebody, but they're not Sour Patch. They're made, but they're like gummy worms, but they're sprinkled in that like sour stuff.
Yeah. We
have that. So the sour ones, and then they have the ones in Tajim that are like the Mexican candy ones.
Oh,
yeah, those are amazing. I like the team a lot on them. So here's what so you got to see my Musketeers. And again, I'm not even going to compare. The master is over there. It's right over there. The other way, this way.
Yep.
So this guy right over here, he showed me a picture of what he just made Monday. And I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to ruin it yet. But what did you already? Is that that's what I'm gonna? What did you bring? Yeah, let's see it. Let's see what he got. This is my favorite food of all time.
Tres leche cake.
Oh yeah.
It's so good. It's the first time I've never actually made it. It's pretty good. It's pretty simple to make. The majority is it's just all eggs, and it's just the process of doing it is fun. But yeah, I've never made it before. It came out really good.
Nice.
It is so good. So that's the reason why, as you all well know, he's a professional chef, and I'm a professional chef wannabe. So
I'm a wannabe barbecuist.
You know what? I've seen some of that barbecue, dude. That looks pretty damn good.
The thing that kills me is I just start getting into this. I'm looking at my pellet grill right here. I just start getting into it. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be cooking this and that. Go to the doctors. They draw blood. They're like, hey, you have high cholesterol. I'm like, what?
Sounds like vegan kebabs for. Sounds like vegan kebabs for a while.
Listen, I did my research. They're like, just pick lean meats. Like tonight, I had just a little pork loin, a little, lean pork loin, a little rub on it, put it out there, cooked it to 160. I pulled it and carved it up. Oh, delicious, right? Mwah. Lean meats, just keep the fat out of there, buddy. Which I love ribs and stuff. So
look at all these, look at all these.
Yes,
cheesecake, carrot cake, chocolate silk pie.
I like me some carrot cake. Now, if I say that every year that I can think of in the last, since I've been married, 14 years, Christy has gotten me a carrot cake from Nothing Bundt Cakes.
Ooh.
Holy moly. If you guys have never had Nothing Bundt Cakes, it's a bundt cake, of course, but they're little miniature ones, and they make them like in chocolate and carrot cake, and then they'll have like seasonal ones. So good, so good. And what it is it's just the icing. Is like they just layer this icing on it, and you're just like, oh man.
Sometimes icing, I don't like that fluffy crap. Like we have a local, it's called Wegmans up here. Sometimes they put that fluffy stuff on there. I like, I like the sugary, but sometimes it's too much. It's like, holy whew.
I like the cream topping, like where it's that's my favorite. That's the kind my mom did. Buttercream. So tres leche is definitely from the Southwest. That is everywhere in every single carniceria. There is a tres leche cake that is made by Nana somewhere. And she's now selling it, as well as the fresh tortillas on the that they're selling. I just absolutely love that about living in the Southwest, is that it's all fresh. Of course, living, this is the one part about living on the West Coast, is that I cannot just go down the street to go bother James, the bearded metal chef, for some food, because I'm just like, because by the time that I would get tres leche, it would be like no leche. There would be no trace. It would be just no leche. It'd be like just a mess. But it would be awesome to be able to just go down there.
Does y'all ever have the plastic light cake that they always have at weddings these days? I think that was like the fondant or something like that.
Topping stuff. Yeah. You know what? And if you go, so we had a friend that really went out, and my wife was just like, make a simple thing with buttercream. That's all I want for our wedding cake. Just make a simple thing. And this lady, and she was super nice. And I don't think that she realized that Christy really just likes buttercream cake with, chocolate. She put the filling in it, which is, I love it. I'm just like, oh, this has like raspberry filling in it. My wife's like, I didn't ask for that for my wedding. And I'm like, okay, you're right, but it's still really good. But she's like, just chocolate and buttercream. That's all she's about.
My birthday was Monday, and we went up to Texas Roadhouse and this and that. And my wife knows I'm not huge on cakes. I prefer cookies. And if I do something like a pound cake or something like that, is strawberry pound cake I really like. But we hit Sonic, dude, that big scoop of cookie dough. Holy smokes. That's really good. Like dangerous really good. I'm glad it's like 45 minutes away from me, so I can't have it. Like
Sonic is literally 2 minutes away from me. Sonic is literally, we get Sonic. I get Sonic. Actually, you know what? They have a coconut iced tea, so I'll just get iced tea, and then they'll put some of that coconut like syrup in it.
Yep,
so good. I get that like every Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So we're running out. We want to keep these down to about an hour, so that we can. It's Thursday night, so I want to make sure that we've shared some music. Is there anything that you want us to know about your band that you haven't already talked about? You have a new release coming up in the next month or two, maybe 3 months.
Hope so. We're working on figuring out if there's any guitar stuff that really. I'm done vocally. Drums are done. and the bass is done. But I think Doug cleaned that up. I think there might be a couple guitar parts or not, but then post-production. So it just has to get mixed and leveled. Like, me listening to when you play that track, it's not completely done. So I'm forward too much, in my opinion. I need to be back in the mix a little bit. And again, here's a lead singer, like, whoa, that's too much me. I honestly do. It's, if it hurts the music, there's no need for the singer to be that far forward. Like, bring them back, put them in the mix. Like I said, vocal cords are just another instrument. Blend it together, make it sound good. So I don't know what process or how many cubic dollars it's going to cost to get the post production done, but as soon as that happens, I'm going to try and get everything, like Spotify, obviously YouTube, iTunes, stuff like that. Try and get everything out there so I can say, hey, everybody, come check this stuff out.
We're also going to have you back on again, right, to make sure that we promote it for you. So yeah, that's our job. That's our job. That's what we actually have. As you found out, I have a publicist now. Who me and James have a publicist who actually goes and finds our bands for us, and we'll say, hey, we want to go and talk to somebody.
When your sister emailed me, I'm like, oh, it's so professional. Oh my goodness. It's like, dude, I know Andy, I know James. It's so professional.
We are not messing around.
See Joe's comment? It says Ben is the lead singer.
Yeah. That's
I'm not a lead singer, but I'm not a lead singer.
And then we're going to go hang out tomorrow. So reviewers table tomorrow with Ben again. So you'll see me, wonderful me. Ben will be on it. But we'll just be hanging out talking beard stuff tomorrow. That's just the way. It's just like me and James and you will be talking music today, and tomorrow we'll be talking some beard stuff and opening beard products like he did today on James did on IG.
Yeah. That's funny. But right when I said, hey, join us tonight, like I wouldn't even it wasn't even just cued in. It was like right when I said, hey, tune in tonight to Tasty Licks. Like Andy comes popping in.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, just in time.
That's right. Just to make we have so much fun on this show. So, and I think that we've kind of stepped it up a notch. So I think that we're excited to have nothing but music because metal, and then I have my background. So that's the reason why I changed it to Rockin, because music is so important to both of us. So
just trying to say I've known you, and I've tried not to your name. I know it's a term of endearment, but Prack. It's like, dude, your name's Andy, like. But then bearded practitioner, I know you as that, and it's like, wait, bearded rocking practitioner. All right, I got it. I can say it.
I saw that. I was like, should I just be the rockin' practitioner without the beard? And they're like, no, because then you have to have the bearded, because you're still saying I'm still part of the bearded gang.
Yeah.
Even though I trim this bad boy down, but I do that occasionally. I'll just trim it down and then I'll try to grow it out again until I get bitched at.
I got my wife. I was like, you didn't even notice I trimmed my beard. And she was just like, oh, I couldn't see you yesterday. It's been 2 days, Debbie, and you haven't noticed.
I can tell you this, that here's how it goes. I go and trim the beard, and then I get all the compliments throughout the house. Wow, that looks so good. Like, hey, don't grow the beard out again.
Yeah.
Dad. You look really horrible with the beard, Dad.
My kids actually, they are like, I can't remember really what you look like with it. Like they see the pictures and everything, but they can't, when looking at me, they can't see me without a beard. They're like, don't ever take it off. I'm like, got ya. Right. I'm on it.
You and James look really good with long beards. I don't think I do. And I would say that 95% of my family would say that I don't.
Right.
I think the only percent was me saying, yeah, I should rock that long beard. But anyway, I've had so much fun today, man. This has been a really fun. Awesome. We got to listen to some music. James, what do you have to say, buddy? What do you think?
Nothing, man. I've enjoyed. I love doing these live streams. I wish I could do more. Aside from have to work, that dreaded work that we have to do. So if I didn't have to do that, I would actually be on live streams more. Right. So I enjoy doing them. I enjoy. Yeah. So if I didn't have to work weekends, I definitely would be on a lot more.
Exactly. One day, my friends, we are going to be looking back in the next 2 to 3 years. Me and James will be somewhere sitting on, stardom, hopefully, or at least interviewing so many stars. We'll be like, hey, do you remember that time that we had like the lead singer from that band on, and it was like we were the first premiere? This thing will blow up on us, Ben, and people are going to come view this years later, and we're going to be saying, we told you this guy was that good.
I was telling my bandmates that yesterday at practice, like, I don't know how many people will be in the chat, and that doesn't even matter, but this exists throughout history. This is now going to be on YouTube. I said people can come along and be like, oh, hey, say if we, a song does, everything happens, and then they're like, a song gets picked up for some odd reason. I have no preconceived notions. If it happens, awesome. If it doesn't happen, awesome as well. I'm having a blast making music with my friends, regardless of anything happening. Would it be cool? Sure. No pressure. I gotta hate that. And it's
love it.
It can ruin things if you put too much pressure on yourself. Just have fun, enjoy it. If it comes, it comes.
Right.
Very, very Buddhist of you, sir. Very Buddhist of you. Accept it as it is. Accept it as it is. Yep. Very much so. Well, guys, thank you guys, everybody, for jumping on in and listening and being part of this show. Thank you to your bandmates for joining in and being part of the show as well. I totally appreciate the support.
Sure, I'm going to get texts afterwards like, hey, jackass, what'd you say that for?
Hey, my name Sean is just normal, damn it.
Yeah.
It's not Sean, it's Sean.
Yeah.
But we had a blast, man. It was really good to have you on. We'll definitely have you on again as you, next time we'll hopefully see you. You'll have a new EP out, and we'll be enjoying talking about the new EP. Maybe we can get some of those band members that were in the crowd today to maybe be part of the show as well. To kind of
might be able to. We'll see. I don't. They, like I said, it's not that they aren't online. It's that they don't typically do this type of stuff. So I didn't want to make it weird for them or anything. Be like, hey, you got to be on a live stream with me. So now that they've seen me and be like, oh, it's pretty chill. You just get to talk and be all right. So maybe next time I can convince one or more of them to join us.
Well, I'll have my people talk to your people.
Yeah.
we have professional emails now.
Yes, very professional. It was like, woo.
Yeah. I know. That's like when you were talking like, hey, my wife knows me as just husband.
Yeah.
That my sister knows me just as Andy, and I'm always knowing her as like just my sister. And then when I see that email, I'm like, holy moly.
Yeah.
We're like something.
She hears me say some of the accolades I'm getting from my bearded friends on this and that. And she's just like, yeah, but you're Ben. I mean, you pick your nose. Right. I'm like, I know. That's why I'm saying.
That's what keeps you humble. I think that the women in our lives keep us humble. Let us know that, or family members. They're always like, you remember when you like crapped your pants when you were like 4? Yeah, I remember that.
You have holes in your socks, dude. Like, ooh, look at you. I'm big rock star with holes in my socks.
Exactly. Like I'm like, hey, look, I'm doing all these cool things, and she's like, yeah, you snore a lot. Yeah. They don't see you with your CPAP machine on, do they now, Mr. I got a show. Cool, man. Well, we'll talk to you soon. Everybody else out there, we had a blast. It was really great seeing you. Any last words, James?
No, it's been a blast. I'm enjoying it.
Cool.
And thanks for being our guest.
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much. And next week we have another band on, and we'll just keep tuned for who the band is. And we will see you and rock you later. If I can find the exit out of here.